Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here, and welcome to, what is this, I think it's number 5, or no, number 6, in the series on creating an online business, how to start an online business that I've put together here. And so if you haven't already, make sure that you go and check out the playlist and start at video 1, which explains the basics of starting an online business. But in this video in the series, we're going to be talking about how to get traffic to your online business. So if you have a business, okay, you're gonna have to have traffic. Like, that's the number one thing. We talked a little bit about this in the myths about online business, about a lot of people thinking that maybe you've considered the fact that if you build something awesome, you might have thought that people will just come and they'll just find it and they'll just buy your shit. But it's not true. It's actually not true at all. In fact, one of the biggest struggles is getting traffic. In fact, I would say this, is that if you have traffic and you have nothing else, you can make a business and make money. If you just give me traffic, if you just give me 1 million people visiting any site a month, I can make a ton of money from that. So traffic is really, really important, okay? Now, the right kind of traffic is important as well, but most of the business and most of the scale that you're going to get in your online business, whatever it is going to be based on traffic. If you can get people to come to your site, or your YouTube channel or your podcast or whatever it is, but ultimately your site, wherever you're performing or making the transaction happen, that's what's going to determine how much money that you make. You know, you 10x my traffic, you'll 10x my revenue, probably even more so, because there's a lot of things that you can do when you have a lot of traffic. Okay, so let's talk about some of the ways to get traffic. Now, there's 3 main ways, or three only ways to get traffic to your online website or to your online business, which is, one is content marketing. Okay, and we're going to break down each one of these, but content marketing, which is basically producing content like these YouTube videos, right, or blog posts. Okay, number 2 is that you utilize influencer marketing. Okay, so influencer marketing is utilizing other people's websites, YouTube channels, email lists, whatever it is, in order to get traffic. And then the third one is paid acquisition. So this is typically advertising or marketing by buying advertisements, okay? Buying advertisements on someone's website. So let's talk about here the first one, which is content marketing. Okay, now this is probably the most crucial one. This is definitely the one that most of you should be doing. If you're trying to start an online business and you are trying to start from scratch, if you're bootstrapping it, if you're basically funding it yourself, that's what bootstrapping means, and you don't have any money, you're not making money at this point, you should be utilizing content marketing. And I would argue that just about every business should be using content marketing. I know there's some business models and some people that disagree with me about this, but as far as building an audience, which I think is the most important thing, and building a online business that is sustainable and automatable, which is something that I find to be really important. Content marketing is really important because you want to be able to get traffic that continually comes to you without you having to do much at all. Okay, so what is content marketing? It's basically just creating content, okay, free content that is going to cause people to come to you. So let's think about this. Let's think about traffic in the internet. Okay. How do people actually arrive at your business or your website, right, if you have a business online, okay? The biggest way that people get there is through a search engine. Now, you could put some flyers in the grocery store, okay? You can go and you could tell people about it. You could wear a t-shirt that has your website name on it, okay? You could even appear on, on a news station, honestly, and say your website name, and all of that isn't going to amount for much compared to people finding you from a search engine. That's the most likely place that people are going to find you, because that's where most of the traffic on the web is. Think about it. When you go to the web, when you go to look for something, how often do you type in a search engine? And that's how you find websites. That's how you find the information that you're looking for. So a majority of the traffic that you're going to get is going to come from search engine. And so it's important to create that content in order to get that traffic. Okay, so let's talk about how to do this. Again, I'm not going to go into super depth here because there's a lot about content marketing, but I want to give you a general idea so you know how to do this. And like I said in some of the other videos, maybe I'll put together a course on building an online business, and I'll show you exactly how to do this, how to SEO, and how to do everything that you need to do in order to actually get traffic. But let's talk about how in general, right? So in general, what you're going to do is, let's say that you have a blog, okay? So in general, if you have a blog or a website, what you're going to do is you're going to create content that is related to what your customer might search on, right? So let's say that you have a business, again, we're using that guitar lessons business, okay? And you're selling guitar lessons, right? Or that's your audience, is people are interested in playing guitar and maybe want to get lessons and things like that, or maybe some accessories. Then what you want to do is you want to create some articles, or you want to create some blog posts, or however you want to call it, that are related to what those people are going to search for. So let's think of what someone might search for. They might search for something like how to get started playing guitar, or what is the best guitar for a beginner, or what kind of pick should I use to play guitar, or what are the easiest songs for new guitar players to play, right? A bunch of things like that. Think about like that kind of content. That's what people are going to be searching for. Or how do I read tabs, right? Things like that. And so what you want to do is you want to look and try to figure out what are the most popular search terms that your customer are going to be looking for, your audience, and then you're going to write articles or blog posts that basically answer that question, right? Answering the question is a great way, right? And you don't have to necessarily, start with the question in mind. You can just create content that's related to that and create a lot of content. But what you want to do is you want to create good quality content, okay? And that's primarily what is going to send the correct signals to the search engine that says that that they should rank you higher, so that when people search, your results come up, right? Because if you create good content and your results come up and people click on it, and search engines like Google use some metrics to determine whether or not people are actually consuming the content, how long they're staying on the page, all kinds of stuff like that. So creating good content is the most important thing. Also, you've probably heard of backlinking, right? So if you can get people to link to your content, especially other sites that are popular in Google and search engines, that's going to be valuable as well. But we're not going to get into the details of that. The most important thing is that you create good content, and then you're prolific. You create a lot of it, okay? At least that's what I found, is that you've got to create a lot of content in order to be able to create a big surface area so that people come to you, right? So whatever your business is, right, you want to create a bunch of content that's going to be really good content that people that are searching for those topics they're going to find. The same thing would apply to YouTube. Again, I'm creating this series on starting an online business, okay, on YouTube, because I want you to find me, right? And what I'm hoping, right, is that I'm hoping that you'll find one of these videos in this sequence of videos, and that you'll start at the beginning and you'll watch a bunch of my videos and hopefully subscribe to the channel. So I'm using this as sort of this big wide net in order to get you into my funnel, right? So I can sell you some shit. No, so I can, possibly sell you stuff, so I can make you a customer. So I can sell you something. I can make money from affiliate advertising if you buy something from someone else, and from ads as well, right? So that is the strategy that I'm utilizing right now, okay? But I'm creating a lot of content. I create 2 YouTube videos a day on this channel, okay? That's a lot of content, but I want to have a large surface area. Same thing with podcasting. Whatever you're doing, you want to create a lot of good quality content. And I know a lot of people argue and say, oh, content marketing is a waste of time. It costs a lot of, it costs you time, which is money and whatnot. But here's the beauty of content marketing is, I've got a company, Simple Programmer, and I've got this YouTube channel, of course, and Simple Programmer gets about 250 to 300,000 page views a month worth of traffic, most of it coming from Google. And, it doesn't require anything. I don't have to do anything. It just happens. Now, there's new articles being written. I'm not actually writing them anymore, but they're being written on the blog, and that's driving more traffic, but it's really increasing the amount of traffic. But if you did nothing, it would still continue to gain traffic for a long, long time. I wouldn't have to pay any money. It's just the beauty of having that content out there. The same thing with this YouTube channel is, even if I don't make any new YouTube videos, I'll continue to get views. I'll continue to get paid for advertisements on this YouTube channel as long as people find the content, right? It's probably better to keep up the content and keep doing content marketing, but that's, this is the primary way that you're going to get traffic in your business, right? You got to think about this, right? How else are you going to do this? And we'll talk about some of the other ways in a second here, but content marketing is number one, right? Okay, so number two is influencer marketing. Now, influencer marketing just means that you borrow someone else's audience, okay? So let's say someone else has a blog that has a huge amount of traffic. Well, if you can write an article for them, or you can get mentioned on there, right? You can potentially gain some of that traffic. Now, it's not going to be as effective as you would think it would be, right? I've guest posted for a lot of blogs, and maybe you get a few clicks. You're not going to get a lot of clicks unless it's like super, super popular and you have something to offer there, but it's going to get you something, right? And mostly it's going to get you backlinks to your own site, which is going to help you with, number one, with the content marketing. But that's one thing that you could do. You can also borrow someone's email list, right? So if you have someone with a large email list, you can have them send out an email if you're friends with them, and you work something out with them, and they decide to promote you. Okay, if you create some really good content, maybe someone who's in a similar niche will promote that content for free, right? I've had blog posts on Simple Programmer that I've written show up in newsletters that get sent out, email lists, to a lot of people, or featured on certain blogs that do roundups of different posts, simply because it was good content and they wanted to share it with their audience, right? So it created content for them. The other thing you could do is, with YouTube, for example, is you could do collaborations, right? So from time to time, I appear on someone else's YouTube channel, they appear on my channel, I do interviews, I am interviewed, right? That kind of stuff is going to create that cross-pollination, so my audience is exposed to someone, their audience is exposed to me. I can grow my audience and grow my traffic through that. Some people have been really, really successful with this. It just depends, if you can find a large enough audience, a large enough influencer, that you can sort of borrow some of their audience and their traffic, and that can help you as well. But you're not going to get a huge amount of traffic from this. That's why, again, I default back to number one, which is content marketing. Okay, the third way that you can send traffic to your online business, which is, again, we talked about this in the myth, is paid acquisition. So this just means that you are advertising, you're paying to get traffic. Now, you can do this on Facebook, you can do this with Google Ads, you can do this by renting someone's email list. I've done this before, and this has actually been one of the more effective ways, even though I don't really do much paid acquisition. You can do, how else can you do this? You can do radio ads, like podcast ads. You can do advertisements on YouTube, right? So however you do it, right? It's basically this idea that you're going to pay for advertising that's going to hopefully generate you traffic. Now, the problem with the paid acquisition is that, one, it costs money, so you got to have something at the end that's going to make it more profitable than the cost of the ad, which is a lot harder than you would think, okay? And I've talked about this before in the previous videos in the series, so I'm not going to rehash that much. But even surmounting that problem, it requires manual work. So you have to create the ads, okay? So I don't know about you, but like the process of creating ads and whatnot is, to me, just as difficult as just creating some content. Like, I'd rather just write a blog post or make a YouTube video than try to manage ads and get all the assets and the pictures and everything and test the copy and all that stuff. There's work to do, right? So it's not just simple. You got to pay the money and you got to do the work. And then third, it wears out over time, right? So you got to change the ads out. You can't just, it doesn't leave it. You can't just leave it up there and expect that you're going to continue to get traffic. It's going to become less effective over time, especially as you reach maximum market saturation and exposure. And then the fourth one, I'd say, is the most obvious one, which is when you stop paying and you stop running ads, you stop getting the traffic. Okay, so like I said with Simple Programmer, with the content marketing and then with this YouTube channel, I've got so much content out there that if I stop making content, I'll still get traffic. Okay. Whereas if I had paid, if my business model were completely based on paid traffic, when I stopped paying for ads, I would stop getting traffic. Now, that doesn't matter if you're making money and you can continue that for a cycle, but what happens when Facebook changes the rates or changes the algorithm, or Google Ads stop working, or they're not as effective anymore? You kind of get screwed. So to sum it all up here, to get traffic to your online business, which is the lifeblood of your online business, I highly, highly recommend content marketing, okay? And that's going to be the most effective thing. And that's just creating a bunch of free content, good content, that people that are interested in what you're selling, or people that would be part of your audience, would be interested in. And you can do that yourself, or you can hire people to do that or outsource that. There's a lot of ways to generate that content. but it's critical. The other two possible ways is influencer marketing, which you may do some of that, and some paid acquisition, which again, you may do some of that if you can make it profitable, but that's usually something that you're going to do later down the line in business, or you're going to do this if you're not bootstrapped, or if you're willing to invest a large amount of money up front to start your business, but there's a high risk to that. It's better, in my opinion, to invest in content marketing, even if you have to pay to have people write good articles for you, because that's going to give you long tail traffic that's going to continue to come in from search engines like Google and YouTube. All right, so that's all I have for you today in this video. Make sure that you click the subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos in the series. I've still got some more coming up here, and click the bell so you don't miss any of the videos when they come out. And if you have a question or a comment, or you'd like to see me talk about something else in one of the upcoming videos in the series, let me know. Leave a comment below, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care.